first ladies of the church, but we do community outside the walls of the church. And with that, you know, we've had belt drives. One of the particular schools wanted to, the children to have belts, you know, to cut down on the sagging and that. So we participated with that. Of course, we used one of the churches as one of the focal points in bringing the belts in, but it was for an outside ministry outside of the church. So those are some of the things. The diaper drive, we did that, and like I said, that was for one of the senior parent facilities that we, you know, facilitated that with. So a lot of the work we are first ladies of the church, but we do our work and our ministry outside of the walls of the church.
And is that the way you designed this organization? Is that what we're saying here, Ms. Duke?
Absolutely, absolutely. When I called First Lady Russell, I was telling her what God had just kind of given me. And what was interesting about that is each lady that I called, and we have 7 board members, and currently we have 26 active women that have been supportive of this ministry. And I said, you know, there's so much that needs to be done. And a lot of the small churches seem to duplicate services. And we're saying there's a lot that needs to be done, but we can work this out by coming together and doing this. And so as of August of this year, we would have been in operation for a year. We're 501c3, tax exempt, and we have an awesome opportunity to have a food drive. We are partnering now with the Second Harvest Food Bank, and so it gives us an opportunity to provide food to those that are in need within our community. So there's so much that we want to do. We know that we can't do it by ourselves, which is why we have agreed to collectively come together so that we can continue to serve in our community.
And of course, Ms. Russell, looking at what Ms. Duke has said in reference to reaching out, I would imagine that your church is probably doing the same thing in terms of the reaching out as well. Is that
yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm trying to, well, yeah, we do several things, but I was trying to think in particular, we have a bin where we're doing, like, you know, the clothes to turn into for the homeless or whatever. So yeah, it's, you know, it's just so much to be done. But like Sister Duke has said, a lot of our churches are small, and it takes, you know, us to work together in order to have a greater or bigger impact. So we have decided to do that, and it has really been very, you know, beneficial.
So this organization is having a real, can have a greater impact in terms of helping to alleviate some of the suffering and homelessness and some of those other issues that we generally have within our community. Is that what we're saying?
Well, absolutely, Dr. Haney. For example, she had made mention of it. They did a program, outreach, I guess you would call it, program, a fundraising program for a local ministry around here, a local program here called Renewal House. Renewal House caters to women and children who are on drugs and the like, and helping them make that transition. So they did a fundraiser, raising, you know, Pampers and all that kind of stuff for that particular program. And it was a great program, but you know what was really excellent about that program was when Dr. Russell came in and did his piece, his PowerPoint presentation on child abuse and child abuse prevention and stuff. Learned so much in that setting right there. So so what they're doing, they're out here ministering, they're educating the people, and then they're going over into the disciples' villages, and they're serving and ministering to the elderly and having fun with them, and playing the game, just doing all that kind of stuff like that. And then that jail and bail. Boy, that was really fun.
That was good.
You know, that little program, little show. I mean, it was really great. You know, and it was awesome.
But it helps to bring people together, and it's more than just a Sunday kind of thing, dealing with Christianity and et cetera. It's a sort of community kind of thing, and I understand. And the question I might raise here is, how did that belt drive go? You see, because you know,
it was extremely well. We understood that it was a school that, you know, they require uniforms. Well, belts are a part of the uniform, but in some communities, that's one of those things that we take for granted. You know, the children they were in high-risk areas, and they needed belts. So the first ladies came together, and we collected belts, and then we provided them to one of the churches that we partner with, and then that church supplied the belts to the school that was in need. So whenever we find out that there's a need, we know that we're in a position to try to address that need. And we do that, and we just, you know, we serve.
Just blessed by doing it.
That's
blessed
right.
by being able to do it.
Now, we've got about 3 minutes before the end of this show for today, and what I'd like for you to do now is to think of some of the things that you thought that you'd like to say before you got here this day, and this will be your opportunity. Ms. Russell, what are some of the things that you thought, in view of the fact that you'd have the ear of a large audience this morning, what are some of the things that you thought that you'd like to leave with this audience this morning? Then Ms. Duke will give us some statements, and Pastor Walker will give us some statements in reference to what the two of you have talked about, and then we'll end it for the day.
Well, I guess basically what I would like to do, or for the audience to know, that so many times we are misunderstood as a First Lady and Minister's wife. And in my particular case, you know, I'm here to serve. Again, like I said, I believe like that is my purpose. You know, it's not like I want to be served, I want to serve. God said that we should serve. We should be servants. And that basically is what I'm all about. I love serving. I love being a help to the community or to anyone in need. So that's what I would like for them to know.
Some final statements, Ms. Duke.
Well, I just, I thank God for the opportunity to even have been a recipient of the vision to start But God Ministry. One of the things that I say is, it's bigger than me. Even with that the vision, it would not have been successful unless women like Sister Russell and the 7 board members that we have, and unfortunately I can't call each of their names right now, but they know we love them. But the point is, our ministry, it's a 501c3. It can open up doors that wouldn't be open for just other nonprofit agencies. You know, there's some validity behind what we're trying to do. If there was one thing that we could just get out there, is just to say, if there's a need, allow us to do that. As senior pastors' wives, as widows of pastors, we want to serve, and we are in a community where there's a need, and we want to be able to address that need.
And if some women that fall into that category are listening this morning, what would you say in terms of how they might be able to get in touch with you, your organization?
Well, we actually have a website. It's www.butgodnetworkingforyou.com. And the number where we can be reached at, of course, is 615-300-2154. And anyone that's interested in being a part, whether it's serving, providing services, we are eligible for grants, but we're not getting them. So any donations to help our ministry continue to serve, we are welcoming anyone, any First Lady, any committed volunteers. We want them.
Right.
A final word in reference to the But God Ministry, Pastor.
The part that's been left out all throughout this thing, networking for you, because what they're doing, they're finding needs and they're filling them. They're networking, like with the belt drive. They got the belts together, gave them to a church that distributed to belts. So they network to meet those needs of people, like with Renewal House and the like. So, and I would encourage pastors to encourage your wives to get involved with this. But God